are not just numbers. They are mothers, they are daughters, and their sisters whose lives were cut short, often by those they trust most. Our analysis reveals a chilling reality. The home, Your Excellency, has become the most dangerous place for women and girls in Kenya to live in. The home, a place of love, a place of warmth, also we think is the epicenter of femicide, Your Excellency. Children and boys and girls, Your Excellency, children as young as 3 years old, both boys and girls, are facing a severe scourge of abuse, defilement, sodomy, in the hands of people who should care for them, their own fathers. We came across some of the most horrific examples of what our children are going through. In Wajir, we heard of this experience. A child, a girl aged 4 years, Your Excellency, defiled and damaged so badly and left by the roadside with her intestines hanging out of her body. And that is the experience of many of the children we are seeing. And the most unfortunate thing, Your Excellency, is that defilement and abuse of children, who are the most vulnerable and the most defenseless of humanity, is shrouded in silence. Not a mother can defend them. Not a father can defend them, because we are protecting the so-called family honor. Those are our children. We have witnessed the emergence of extreme brutality. We are seeing patterns of violence marked by dismemberment and torture. Acts designed not just to kill, but to dehumanize. That is what our daughters, our mothers are going through. Like death is not enough. You kill them and dehumanize that body. It is horror stories out there. Now, what are the systemic failures and gaps that we found? Your Excellency, we identified critical gaps that fuel impunity. We found siloed and uncoordinated efforts, both by government and non-governmental organizations, towards combating GBV, including femicide. This has resulted in lack of focus in activities and accountability of resources from both government and development partners. We found insufficient resource allocation targeting combating of GBV, including femicide, at both national and county levels. And this hinders survivors' access to legal, medical, and psychosocial support. Institutions of justice, Your Excellency, such as the judiciary, the police, the DCI, the ODPP, etc., remain too underfunded to effectively respond to GBV and femicide violations. We found that currently our laws treat targeted killing of women merely as murder. There is no distinct offense of femicide in our laws, in the Penal Code. Yet femicide is not just a killing. It is a killing of a woman because she's a woman, often rooted in intimate partner violence, misogyny, and control, harmful cultural practices, systemic gender inequality. And therefore, treating it as an ordinary murder case erases the motive and the structural violence behind it, and prevents us from tracking the true scale of the problem and applying sentences that match the gravity of that hate crime. Your Excellency, we've had random debate. We have the law on murder, and murder carries a mandatory sentence. Why do you want a femicide law. And we are telling them femicide is different. And if we treat it as any other homicide, then we miss out. And as I have said, Your Excellency, we miss out on the motives. And this will affect the way we investigate it, the way we prosecute it, the way we adjudicate it. And basically, that is what has been happening. Your Excellency, we found that families and communities are often the greatest barrier to justice. In many counties, clear criminal acts, including defilement and murder, are withdrawn from the justice system and settled through alternative dispute resolution mechanisms, or maslaha. This prioritizes clan harmony over the life and dignity of the victim. We also found that in some communities, harmful cultural practices such as wife beating are seen as normal. Female genital mutilation, child marriage, and sexual exploitation are deeply embedded and often not reported as a violence, but rather seen as normal cultural behavior, thus contributing to GBV, including homicide. Culture also hinders men from reporting gender-based violence, especially to the police and other law enforcement agencies. Your Excellency, we also found a total disconnect between our Constitution's promise of respect and protection of human rights of all, irrespective of their gender. This is mostly due to ignorance of the constitutional guarantees among many of the citizens. GBV and femicide are fueled by lack of respect for the rights of men and women in this country. Your Excellency, we also found that our response mechanisms are siloed. Survivors are forced to navigate a disjointed system of police, hospitals, the courts, often facing traumatization at every turn due to a lack of resources and training. We also found a data management system that is inadequate, consequences of which render survivors invisible, denies them protection, leads to poor cases tracking across police, health facilities, prosecution, and the courts, as well as fueling of impunity for perpetrators. Your Excellency, those are some of the findings. Many more are in the main report. Now, what are our recommendations? Guided by these findings, Your Excellency, the TWG proposes a radical shift in how Kenya prevents and responds to this violence. We have outlined actionable recommendations in this report, some immediate term, some middle term, and some long term. And these include, Your Excellency, we are requesting that you declare GBV, including femicide, a national crisis, because indeed it is. And the reason for this recommendation, Your Excellency, is that once you declare it a national crisis, it will get the highest response from the highest office, and it will get urgent, coordinated, and survivor-centered action. Your Excellency, we pray that you do it as an immediate measure. We also recommend the establishment of a dedicated GBV and femicide police unit to strengthen prevention, investigation, and prosecution of GBV and femicide-related crimes. This unit will recognize GBV and femicide as distinct, complex, and high-risk offense requiring specialized skills, survivor-centered approaches, and coordinated responses. We also recommend, Your Excellency, that you launch a nationwide campaign, and you, Your Excellency, as the champion of that campaign, on what constitutes GBV and femicide, urging for behavioral change through engagement of men and women and boys and community to challenge patriarchal and cultural norms, as well as promote gender equality, human rights, and the respect of all genders as part of our cultural evolution. We recommend immediate but